Oh, cool.
So that's the setup we built so far.
How's it going?
Good.
Gus.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. This is very big room.
Yeah.
But it's I like the challenge. It's cool. So oh, there he is. He made it. What's up? You just came now?
Just came in.
My man.
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, you?
Good. Good to see you.
Yeah. What's it been like? 2
2
years?
years.
2 years?
2 years,
No,
huh?
more. 3 years. Oh no, 2 years. Sorry.
We came off the...
Yeah, the thing in America.
Yeah.
2
Right
years,
after.
exactly, yeah. Fuck.
Fucking hell, huh?
You had short hair back then.
Yeah.
Like fucking shaved head, and now 2 years, like... Can you believe it?
Yeah, I had a beard again, too. Cut that off as well.
Good to see you,
good
man.
to see you, man. You ready to play complicated as fuck music?
Yes!
Wrong?
That's what I was telling This is Torsten, by the way. Have you met Torsten?
How you doing?
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to
We
meet
spoke
you.
on the phone.
Right, okay.
Right.
Cheers. Cheers.
I was just telling him that it's gonna be fucking tough to pull this off, but we try.
That's Marcos. He's a drum check.
Okay.
Yes,
Nice to meet you. All of us like
Oil and shit.
yeah. Just wearing the slip. All right, shall we go?
Where?
Okay.
Lunch.
Yeah.
Lunch is ready. All dressed up for lunch now. All right, let's do it. Gentlemen,
I guess this...
I'm getting out of the way. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Here we go. You go first. I don't need anything. Yes, I do. What do we get?
Nobody.
Yeah! Let's hear it! Are you ready to rock? Yeah!
Hey guys.
So, do you have like a favorite setup, or do you play like specific pedals, or do you use only?
It changes every time. I
Okay.
have a very simple setup. I mean, just like a wah pedal and a delay pedal, and that's it. The main sound is from the amp.
All right. So no tube screamer, no.
I used to, but
Okay.
now I take that out as well.
Okay.
So
All right. All
Yeah.
right.
keeping it simple. Yeah, there's some weird shit in there.
I think it's a relatively easy song, but
The backing track is easier, you know, more simple.
way easier.
Yeah,
Way easier.
but then what's going on here is insane. I don't know why. It was a filler song. I was like, I need one more song. Then I went all crazy on it.
Okay.
I laid down a basic backing track, and then like all the shit I did was just constructing and adding layers and layers, and then it was like, oh fuck, this is gonna take practice when I'm gonna play this.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, but I got really good feedback on this song. People really liked it. That's why I think it's
Good
good
job,
also for like in the beginning of a show to start with. Get everybody to.
So this is your basic setup, or like?
Pretty much, yeah. Usually I don't use stack anymore, but for one of the songs I'll need it. But that's it, yeah. So basically whatever I play.
Hi, I'm David, the lighting technician and light designer for the Gus G show this Saturday. And for the design, it was quite difficult to feel the songs because we have no lyrics. It's a pure instrumental track, and I have to suck in the feeling of each song and each solo. What's the mood of the song, not just the whole music. There's a beat and there's a guitar, so I have to use the mood of a song. And there are a few pictures that I associate with the song. So for Fearless, I use these big tunnel 80s oversaturated picture because I feel when I hear the solo something like an 80s arcade game, and so I use these fully saturated pictures and not just okay, we have the beat and do lighting on the beat.
I got it, thank you. Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, how's it going so far?
All good. All good.
All good?
Blistery already.
Blistery,
Yeah,
exhausting.
it's already-
Yeah. Oh.
It's already starting. It's only the third song, but it's all good so far. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So, how many tracks do you have?
How many? What?
How many tracks are left?
We have six more
Six more?
songs. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
So your hands
I heard
will
how
be...
many chicks do you have?
Oh, chicks. Yeah.
No,
I mean, yeah.
Perfect. Then the next song is Enigma.
So we have more information in the content, but I think because they are symmetric, they are okay.
One idea would be to have them all four, but half stack, you know, next to each other. So it's like a line of amps right behind me, but then it would take your lights.
Yes.
So then that's not good.
And because the strobes are underneath the stack, so I think we are fine with the full stacks because we have no content like text or lyrics or something.
Yeah, okay.
I think we are okay with that.
Cool. Nice Jackson guitar, and it's my signature model. Yeah, we've had these for a few years now. So.
All right, and something special about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's custom made to my, you know, to the specs that I need and stuff. So I'm involved, you know, choosing the woods and things like that, and the neck shape and the profile of the neck and all the specs. You know, the hardware. I get to choose all that. And actually, this one has a cool feature for the pickups because it's my own pickups that I have a company that we manufacture pickups now, so we integrate those in here. So it's called Blackfire pickups, and yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh.
So it's it's very personal. Yeah, personalized guitar. Yeah.
Awesome. So yesterday you said you changed the strings for the first time on this bass.
Yep.
All
First
right.
time, yes.
Yeah. Because those are the elixir strings.
These are the Elixir, yeah.
Okay.
The original were Sandberg, I guess. I don't know what they put on them.
Okay. And
They were good, but
all right.
now I'm doing something real. So for my Elixirs, and yeah, it's great. I like it a lot. Good bass. I bought it last year. Yeah, it's really they did a hell of a job on this one. It's beautiful, plays great, sounds great, really great guitar.
Yes.
My 5th Sandberg. I like Sandbergs.
So you guys always counting, or is it just feeling?
Feeling. Counting doesn't know.
When it's 7/4, 11/4, 5.5/4, then it's counting.
You count. Okay. I hate counting,
No?
but I guess you gotta do it. So
No choice, yeah.
yeah.
You don't feel as much, when it's a 5.5, I guess. Dun, 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 It's like, it's weird. It's very weird.
Michael song now. Mine too, man. You play that George Michael song.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. That's the best part of the whole song. Is the whoa, whoa, whoa.
He doesn't like George Michael.
That was it?
As soon as we play Careless, we're like, we're ready. go to the. What we do? You played with open hi-hat, but it's all closed.
It is?
Yeah, you played it. The first part you played it open, but it's all closed.
You started already with a fast beat, way too early. Yeah. Let's play it real short together. Here. Right that part. 2, 3, 4. That's right. That's not what we did though.
We're not gonna play the whole thing through. We do one song. bit tired by now.
Tired?
Yeah, but it's been a productive day, so it's good. Yep. Made it. We made it. Good. Finished? Finished. Finished. You done? Finished, yeah?
Fantastic.
Fuck this.
Yeah, stop it.
So Gus, you just finished your Quantum Leap recordings here. How did it go?
Yeah, it was great. Great environment. It was a long day, actually, long session. It was done under strange circumstances for us, at least, because, you know, due to the pandemic, I haven't been with my solo band. We haven't been together, playing together in 2 years. So we got together here and we basically played all the new songs for the first time. But we had a lot of fun. It was great to get back into it, and great crew and everything. So we really enjoyed it. It felt nice to play again with the guys.
What thoughts did you have when you wrote the album? What was your goal?
Well, the goal was to do a different project than what I've usually done, because I've done like 3 solo albums in the past, and they all featured either different guests, musicians, or different vocalists. The idea was to do an album that was kind of like the ultimate Gus G album, like 100% myself. So I decided to take that big step and do a full instrumental guitar album for the first time. I mean, I've done instrumentals before, where I've included them on the albums, but never like from an album from start to finish. It was quite a task, but you know, I was locked in the house for a couple of years, so I had all the time of the world to work on this.
So you knew from the start that it's gonna be an instrumental album. It was not something that you just decided at some point.
I did decide. I mean, you know, during the first months of lockdown, I just kept putting down. I never start with a definite idea. I always write stuff, and I have this kind of like folder in my computer with just unused ideas, old riffs, newer things, and unfinished ideas, and so on and so on. And then like I revisit them, and then I choose kind of like what I could do with. I pick a couple of things, couple of riffs, and then I revisit them and either finish them up or. But in this case, I kept writing little by little during the first months of 2020. And I think right around the summer, it was like, well, I think I have 7 or 8 pretty good ideas that could become like proper instrumental songs. And I was toying around in the back of my head with this idea about maybe this is the perfect timing to actually do this, focus on this and do it, because I couldn't travel, I couldn't meet any other musicians, I couldn't go to a studio. So it was just me in my room, in my home studio. Yeah, that's when I think a couple of months into writing progress, I took the decision to, okay, let's do this now. Let's make an instrumental record. And it was exciting because I hadn't done that before. It definitely helped me get through the first year of the pandemic.
So it stopped you from going berserk, or it kept you from going berserk?
It did help me from going berserk and going totally nuts. Yeah, I would say this album saved me during the first year. Absolutely. Music saved me. I mean, it has that power.
There would have been no Corona. Would this album exist?
It's a good question. Probably not. Probably I would have been on a two-year-long world tour with Firewind, because we had just released a new album, spring 2020, and we were getting ready to go on this extensive world tour, and then everything got shut down. So I'm sure I would have done another solo record, of course, but would it have been this one, or would it even be an all-instrumental record? I really don't know. Hard to say.
I was very curious when I heard the title of the album and then the title of the first song on the album. I mean, a quantum leap, that's a leap forward, right? It's progress of some sort. And then the first song is called Into the Unknown.
Yeah.
Is that like the theme that you had in mind?
You can say that, yeah. First of all, because of where I was going with this project, and also where I think the kind of uncertainty that the whole of humanity felt during these past few months. You know, when, especially for us musicians, like we didn't know, like the live industry shut down completely, so nobody really knew when we'll be able to go back out there and travel again and play for people and get back to festivals or venues. So it was really a strange period. It is still. Yeah, you can say this quantum leap is it is about making that step forward, exposing myself in that sense as a guitar player. Maybe that's why I also named, I guess now that I think about it, maybe that's why I named it Into the Unknown, because that song felt like it was going into an unknown direction, but somehow that song is definitely my most prog moment of the record. It was an adventurous song. It was one of those songs that I put together like it was different pieces, different themes. You know, it wasn't like a song that I started from scratch and then it developed like that. I had like these different riffs and I somehow put them together like a pieces on a puzzle, you know, and it somehow worked out. Like the main theme, it was a completely different idea originally. I think I had like an idea. Something like that. I think I had an idea like that, a lick like that, and I didn't know what to do with it. And then I came up with this backing track one day where I had this main riff. And then I kind of blended the two together and it became this. So, you know, all this intervallic stuff that I was doing and just putting different things together. And then I had this middle part, you can say again, like this prog kind of thing in 7/8 time signature, which is actually kind of almost like traditional Greek dance thing. But I had a riff like that. Sounds a little bit like you know, stuff that Dream Theater would do, but for me, like 7/8, 5/8, you know, if you in Greek music, in Greek traditional music, it's normal. It's, you know, wedding songs are all like 7/8 and 9/8 and stuff like that. So I grew up with these beats, you know, with these rhythms as a kid. And even though it's not really my cup of tea, it's kind of like integrated into my DNA. So it's easy for me to play around those different kind of time signatures. So I kind of blended it all together and it became into, maybe that's why I also named, I guess now that I think about it, maybe that's why I named it Into the Unknown, because that song felt like it was going into an unknown direction, but somehow it turned into something in the end.
To one other song maybe, because Vinnie Moore co-wrote Force Majeure, right?
He didn't co-write it. He played a guest solo on it.
Ah, okay. I thought because it's I just read it's Gus
featuring
G
Vinnie Moore. Yeah.
Featuring, I thought maybe you did some writing together.
No. Well, the story.
Before.
This is a funny story behind this song. It's actually an older song. It wasn't from the Quantum Leap sessions. Actually, I wrote this song back in 2018. It was right after I had finished my previous album, Fearless. And when that album came out, I got a tour together. We together with Vinnie Moore in the US. So we're gonna do a tour together. And then I thought I had this song, but I didn't record it. It was just like a leftover track. And I thought, why not do this instrumental and ask Vinnie to do a solo on it? And we can put it out right before the tour starts and we can promote the tour. So that's what this became. I put it together quickly. I asked Vinnie to do a solo and I'm very happy that he did it because he's one of my guitar heroes. And yeah, we released it right around the time for the tour and it was just like a standalone single release and somehow it became my most popular song on Spotify and like it's like one of those standard tracks on my set list nowadays. And when I finally did the new album, and it was all instrumental, I thought, well, I want to put Force Majeure, I want it to belong in a proper album track list. So this was a perfect situation to include it on the album. And it's funny because a lot of people are discovering it now, 3 years later as well.
I was wondering, you wrote the songs all on your own and you played all the instruments at first. And then you kind of got the band back together, even though in several places. Yeah. I mean, I wrote everything. I arranged everything again in my home studio because I always do this when I do my demos. You know, I program the drums and I play the bass and whatever keyboards and all the guitars, of course, and then I show it to the band guys and all that. But this time I wasn't even planning on having anybody to play on the record. I thought. Maybe it's because of the situation again with the lockdown. I was like, well, I'll do this project just totally like
homemade. And then when I finished it, I thought, well, maybe I should get a drummer instead of a drum machine, you know. And I'm glad I decided on that. And Vincent Velasco was a great drummer from England. Yeah, he had just happened to hit me up, and he sent me some links of him playing, and yeah, I was blown away by his playing. And I asked him to record, and actually it was cool because, you know, we couldn't go to a studio. We couldn't fly anywhere to do the drum sessions, but luckily he had a studio on his own where he could actually record himself and engineer himself. So that solved the main problem, because where can you do drums? You need like a big room. So, and he had that. So he did the drums and sent us the files, and the rest was done in our home studios. I reached out to Dennis Ward about mixing the record, and then I said, well, you're a much better bass player than I am, so if you want to play on these songs. And he did. He played on 8 of the tracks of the album, and he also mixed it. It's kind of weird because it does sound like as if it's a band that rehearsed this and kind of developed this together, but it wasn't like that. It was just file exchanging, but he's such a great player that he was able to really adapt to the whole project right away. So I don't know, it felt very natural for me to hear him play over the songs.
Could we do another dissection of a song?
Yeah, let's try.
To show the process again, maybe with the title track, Quantum Leap. How did you start there?
Yeah, I think I had a bunch of riffs for this one. And then again, like the middle part was also from another older song of mine that I, like the breakdown part. Anyways, I mean, the main riff, I had this main riff, so, which is all these... kind of like a monotone on a D chord, playing all these different voicings over D. Came up with a melody. I treated it almost as a typical song with a main riff, verse, chorus thing. You know, we're not gonna... I put all the melodies over that. There's this breakdown part of the song with clean guitar, and like I said, that was from an older demo of mine, which is this. Something like that. So maybe I should play that again. So. That kind of thing. I just thought it would fit nicely into the song to give it a breather from all the shredding and all those things. So yeah, it's actually one of my favorite tracks on the record. It's some technical stuff on there, but it's very melodic, and it has that kind of, I don't know, heroic type of melody. I think the original working title was Heroic. I don't know why.
What did you feel when you first saw the first Gus G guitar in a store? Was that a sign for you, like, hey, fuck, I must have made it, or something?
No, I don't know. Originally, I mean, I've been designing guitars for many years, and with different companies before. I started working with Jackson, and originally I thought, who the hell would want one of my guitars? Like, why? I certainly didn't feel like I made it when I was just feeling very privileged and blessed that I was given the opportunity to design a guitar with a company, and I just jumped at the opportunity and basically aimed to make my dream guitar come true. So I was involved in the specs and all the things that are, you know, all the components of the guitar, and choosing the woods and the hardware and whatnot and all those things. It certainly feels very nice over the years, you know, when I see other people picking up the guitars that I've designed, and especially when they give me the feedback and what they think of the playability and the sound and how much they love it. It means a lot to me, you know, because yeah, it feels like we've done something right.
You started your own company, Blackfire, and released 2 humbuckers today, right?
Yeah, one of the models is this. It was the original project was to start to make some pickups to go on my signature guitars, and that way it becomes more personalized as well. And you know, it has developed into kind of like a side hustle of mine. You know, I like to make these pickups, and we have them available like as a standalone product. It's a really nice feeling when I see other players mounting them on their guitars and sending me videos and comments and telling me how much they love it. Yeah, so far nobody has said it's shit, so thank God. This is the very first model we came up with. It's called a Proteus, and it's an active pickup, which means it runs on a battery. The circuit runs on a battery, so it has an extra preamp, and yeah, it has this kind of, it's a really high output pickup. It's great for metal, obviously. But I think they're pretty versatile as well. It's based on it's an Alnico 5 type of magnets, and I guess it's kind of like blending the passive and the active world of pickups. So it gives you this high output, and which is great for heavy styles and gives you a lot of sustain, but it doesn't really kill your tone. It has really well balanced EQ, a lot of mid-range, which is, electric guitar is the mid-range type of in the EQ spectrum as an instrument, so it gives a very nice balance actually. So yeah, this is what we came up with. Started this about 3 years ago. Yeah, just right before that, 1 year before Corona. Yeah, and the first project, the initial project, was to put them on this guitar, and Jackson were actually kind enough to accept this idea and let me put my own pickups into these guitars, and it's a passive one. I call it the Immortal, and it's a more classic type of hard rock humbucker. It's still a high output pickup, but yeah, it's like a ceramic magnet. I think that's our best-selling model too so far. A lot of people dig that one.
When did you choose to play Jackson guitars and not, for example, a Les Paul, which would also be probably a guitar of choice for...
I actually grew up on a Stratocaster. My first electric guitar was a Fender Strat. I mean, even the neck profiles are pretty much similar to my first guitar, like a Strat neck, which is pretty thick necks. It's not, I don't play thin or slim necks as people might think I do, because usually like all the shredder guys play really thin necks, but mine are pretty thick. I was never really much into the Les Pauls, oddly enough. Like I said, I was more into the Strats and guitars like that. And then later on, when I got my first endorsement, I remember it was with Washburn, and they gave me like one of those Dimeback guitars, which was like similar shape like this, the Dimeback Darrell models. And when I went to Japan, I did a couple of tours with this guitar. And later, when I was asked to design my own signature model, they told me about maybe you should continue in this type of shape because the fans in Japan identify you with this. So it has become part of my stage persona, and I guess an extension of my body by now. I've been playing these shapes for, I don't know, since I can remember, since the beginning of my career. And I met the guys at Jackson around 2015, 16, and we started talking about a possible collaboration. Actually, the original star-shaped design is a Charvel design, and Charvel and Jackson are sister companies because they're all under Fender Corporation. So it kind of like, you see what I'm getting? It's almost like a full circle, kind of like going back to working with the Fender guys, and Jackson's a part of it. So it's part of a big family.
And you save some resources because there is only one potty on your guitar and you don't need the tune ones.
My setup is generally very simplistic. Never really did much with the tone knobs, just one volume, 3-way switch. I don't even use tremolo. A lot of people bug me about that. Why don't you use tremolos? But I think I get a lot more sustain out of a standard bridge. So that's been my thing, really.
When you see other guitar virtuosos with different styles, like David Gilmour, Steve Hackett, or John McLaughlin, are they an inspiration for you as well in one way or the other? Or has it always more been like metal?
No, I mean, my influences are more broad, I mean, I started playing guitar because of Peter Frampton. and some of the vinyls, rock vinyls that my dad had at home. And my dad did expose me to Gilmour and Pink Floyd and Santana and Al Di Meola and things like that, because that's the stuff that he knew. So he would play it around the house, and I was growing up with that. But of course, as a kid, I was drawn more into the heavier things, and MTV was also around that time in the early 90s, and one thing leads to another, and then things start getting heavier and heavier. You start from listening to whatever, Nirvana or Guns N' Roses, and then you end up with Black Sabbath.
That's a pretty steep learning curve, I think. At what point did you realize, hey, fuck, I'm really, really good. I want to continue this path, or I need to?
Yeah, I didn't think I was really good, but I thought I definitely knew I wanted to continue being a guitar player. This is what I wanted to do. I think probably around 13 or 14 years old, when I did discover Black Sabbath, and that opened a whole new world for me. And later on, hearing, going from that and Metallica going to the shredder guitar world, which is Yngwie and Paul Gilbert and Marty Friedman and all those guys from the Shrapnel records of the 80s. Yeah, that kind of like became a mission in life, to learn how to, play, learn a lot more on the instrument and be able to play more technical things. So yeah, this was, like I said, this was a mission in life for me. And yeah, I would have definitely loved to jam with Randy Rhoads, Jimi Hendrix. Sometimes I've dreamt that I've jammed with Hendrix. I don't know why. Yeah, I would have loved to meet and hang out and jam with Dimebag Darrell. But yeah, sadly never happened. I've been fortunate enough to play with some of my heroes, I've shared the stage with some of my heroes. I've played with guys like Uli John Roth and Slash and Zakk Wylde, and so it's way more than you can ever ask for. So I'm I'm really grateful for that, for those moments.
Speaking of those amazing musicians, what is good music?
It really depends on the aesthetic of each person and what really sounds good to your ears.
What is good music for you then?
I don't know. To me, I don't categorize music like that. In styles, Of course, I understand what styles are and different genres and things. But a good song is a good song. If it sounds good and if the idea is catchy and it gets your attention, and you want to listen to that back, over and over again, it's a good song. And it doesn't matter if it's a pop track or a metal track or whatever. So that is good music to me.
Let's go to Ozzy, okay? A couple of questions, maybe what you want to share. One question that was always of interest for me is when you were informed that you're in the band, where were you? And what were your first thoughts about that? Mm-hmm. And who gave you the information?
It was right there on the spot when I did the audition in LA. Because I went in and I jammed with the band, and Ozzy came out, of course, and we played and everybody was there. So we played a bunch of songs, and then everybody moved to another room for a few minutes just to talk secretly and stuff. And I was just left there. I was like, what's going on? And then they came out and they were like, yeah, you want to come back and do a show with us? So it was just right there and then. It was a shocking moment, of course. I knew I did well, actually, at the audition. I had a good feeling about it. There was a chemistry when we played together right from the get-go, but come on, who can think that this can actually happen? But it did, yeah, right there on the spot. They told me about it.
You said in an interview that you stayed very close to the originals of Randy Rhoads, Gillis, and Zakk Wylde when you played with Ozzy live, and fans expected that you did not want to disappoint them, right? I think that's a very humble and grand way, not needing to mark your new territory in a way. What's your philosophy, both in life, general, and when it comes to cooperations with others?
I mean, look at his body of work, and it's all classics, So it's not like, I don't think anybody would have wanted anybody just stepping into this and doing it their own way. You are gonna sound like you anyways, because it's your fingers playing on the guitar, and the notes are played with your own touch and your own sound. And I had my own gear and stuff. So, I think my personality would come through this anyways. You know, I was just there to do a good job. That's how I approached it. Because the main focus was Ozzy and not me, you know. I knew eventually that I would shine as well if I did a good job, and if I played the songs great. And I think that's what happened in the end. There wasn't really any room for stupid ego stuff like that. And yeah, going back to the philosophy on life, it's I think, you know, when you're collaborating with people, you know, knowing your place is a very important thing. Especially in you know, with musicians, sometimes a lot of people, they don't know what you know, they don't really know what is asked of them. It depends really, you know, if you have your own band and you're the leader and it's your creation, then you can do whatever you like. So, but I think respecting your colleagues, it all starts from there. And of course, if you're in a situation where you're a hired gun, you know, or you're a sideman or whatever, you should know your place. You should know what is expected of you, and or find out, or what it is exactly they want from you, and try to deliver.
Was that why you decided with 18, I think, to go to Berkeley?
Yeah, because I guess it was a way for me to get out of Greece and go and network and meet some other people and see what is out there in the world. I mean, obviously, what I chose to do is music that, you know, comes from England and America. So you have to go to the source for that. I was 18 years old, just got out of high school. I think my uncle and my aunt, because I have some family in Florida, they helped me find a place in Boston, like some roommates that I rent a place for a semester, and I just took a flight to Boston and I landed there, hopped on a cab and went to that address, and there I was. And then the next day I went to Berkeley College and I enrolled. You know, I was accepted at the college, of course. I had a scholarship too. So I just enrolled and I started going to classes, and and 3 weeks later I decided to drop out of college. Because I was just very impatient at the time, and I just wanted I realized that this academic stuff wasn't really for me. I wasn't, you know, it wasn't in my plans to just get a degree from college and do what after that. So my goal and my dream was to be in a band, start a band and write songs and make records and tour the world. And so, you know, a lot of kids would go to Berkeley at that time because guys like Steve Vai went, or guys like John Petrucci went. So I think I was like one of those kids that you think you're gonna go there and you're gonna meet other kids and maybe form a band or something. But you know, it's a great school for what it is, of course. It just wasn't for me.
For how long did you stay in the States after that?
About a year. Then I went to visit my family in Florida, and yeah.
And then you came back to Greece? Or?
Then I came back to Greece briefly, and then I decided to continue my journey to Sweden. And that's basically where the early beginnings of my career happened.
How so?
Originally I went to Sweden because some friends of mine were recording in a studio in Gothenburg, Studio Fredman, and the producer, the guy who owned the studio, was Fredrik Nordstrom. His nickname was Fredman. So he was producing a lot of bands, and he's responsible for a lot of the Gothenburg metal bands, like, you know, the death metal bands like In Flames and Dark Tranquillity and Hammerfall. So he's the guy who produced all that and gave that kind of stamp, the sound. And there were, you know, bands from all over the world going there because of that sound. And some friends of mine from Greece were recording with him, and I joined them for a couple of weeks just to help him out in the studio and just to see what's happening there. And I loved Sweden, you know, and I decided to stay there. It's kind of funny. I was roommates with Jesper, the guitarist of In Flames, for the first couple of months that I lived there. He was like, I had no place to stay, so he's like, you can come stay with me. And soon enough, I started writing songs with Fredrik, the producer. And we started a band together called Dream Evil. And eventually that became kind of my introduction, one of the first things that I did. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Gus.
Thank you. It was fun.